Alright, so let's trade the Betfair pre-race horse markets. I make these videos here to illustrate one key point. If you want to be a successful trader, you have to learn the basics. You have to understand why you're making mistakes. You have to understand why the markets are moving against you. And you have to start with small stakes. Because if you cannot trade profitably with £2 stakes or £10 stakes, you will never be able to trade with £50 stakes or £100 stakes. So if you're a beginner, you have to start small and you have to understand how and why the market moves, all right? So I trade live, so I do hum and haw, and I do miss certain opportunities because trading live and recording and talking to you is difficult, okay? But I do my best to try and illustrate to you why the market moves and how it moves, okay? So we'll jump in now and do some trading. All right, so we're at Sedgefield, and you can see it's quite a large field. Short price favourites here. And let's see if we can go and make a few ticks profits. As you can see, there's quite a bit of money coming in there for the favourite. So I probably will jump on this as well, just to see if it keeps going. And with these types of horses here, don't panic if it goes against you for a tick or two, because there's a lot of money flying around, so it will fluctuate. It will jump up and down a bit. So I'll put in a few trades here just to scalp off one or two ticks if possible. And then I will leave this here. I'll put a stop loss up here at the top of the range in case it goes against me. But I'm quite happy just to leave this because it does seem like it's going to keep coming in for a bit more because it is the favourite, and you can see there's no real reaction in these other ones here. The fourth favourite is going out heavily. So I'm quite happy just to leave this and just to see how far it goes, right? I'll leave it until about 2 minutes before the race starts, but we'll see how this goes right now. Just take that away. I'll put a stop loss here at 0, so that if it right now if it jumps back up again, then I've not lost anything. So I'm quite happy to just leave this. You can see there's a lot of money flying around now for this. So there's a huge chunk came in there. There's like 11,000 came in, so it does look like it might keep going for a bit longer. But at this point, you might think, well, how much further can it go? So I will just jump out here, just for the sake of I want to take that profit there. So that's a considerable move. So I'll just get out there just because and I'll keep watching it, see what happens. But also you'll notice here that you can see there's been no real reaction here in these other two horses, and the second and third favourite. Equally, if I bring over the chart here, you can see there's been no real movement in the other ones, which seems quite odd. Apart from this fourth favourite here, which has drifted out quite heavily, there doesn't really seem to be any kind of movement. So I'm going to put in a speculative £2 stake here on this fourth favourite, just with the off chance it'll pop back down again here, because you can see it has drifted out quite a lot. It's basically doubled in price, almost, which is it's a fair chunk to be drifting. So I'll pop that in there and leave it there for now. I'm using £2 stakes in this one here. It's just it's the price increment here is huge, so your profit and losses are much bigger. So, but what we'll do is I will just do some scalping on this one here for now. So you can see here, the favourite is still continuing to come in, which is good. But I'm quite happy just to try and scalp out a few ticks here on this one here for now. Because a lot of time when a horse like this crosses the 10 mark, because it's such a lucrative point to back, and it has drifted out a lot in the last sort of few minutes, there can be quite an insurgence here of people backing this with the same view that I have, and it can come crashing in. Especially if you combine that with the fact that the favourite has come all the way in from threes way down here. Now there's going to be a lot of people who want to lay this with the same kind of feeling. So this one here might come crashing down a few ticks here. But that's purely speculative. But you can see right now that it is coming in a bit. So we'll see how it goes. But like I said, for now, I'll just keep scalping here. Just still got a minute on the clock, so I'll keep scalping this here if I can. With 60 seconds left, and you can see the horses are lining up. So at this point, I'll just exit this point here. There's no point in me messing about anymore. So I'll get out there, and I'll green this up. So you can see there, £1.30. I was in no real risk. I didn't do anything crazy. Just simple, reading the market the way I see it, and just trading with some simple stakes. That was £10 stakes. Had I been using 50 or £100 stakes, I'd have 5 or 10 times the profit, right? So it goes to show that if you're calm, collected, just read the market and react to the market the way you feel. And you can see now, as I said, it came all the way down to 10s again. So had I left it, that would have been again a nice little profit there. So you can see that the fact that I actually called it and actually happened, that is my reward, right? Because for every time that happens, for every time I see it, for every time I get it right, it just boosts your confidence, and you can slowly start increasing your stakes. Because when you start learning how to read the market and you actually get it, and you sit here and think, okay, I think this horse is going to drift or come in, and then it happens right in front of you, and you suddenly realize, I'm able to read the market before stuff happens. And once you get it, you will very quickly see that it's more predictable than you might think, right? But you have to be able to emotionally detach yourself from your profit and loss. Otherwise, if you let your emotions get away from you, then it doesn't matter what you do. If your emotions get the better of you, you will always lose, because you're following the profit, not what the market's doing, right? So I'll now move on to the next race, and I'll see if I can do this again.